Ryan's looking for an SUV and he wants something that is fun to drive, but he's not quite sure what models he should be looking at. So he uses Miles AI, his car concierge, to help him decide. He starts off by simply inputting a sporty and luxurious SUV that's fun to drive. Within seconds, Miles asks him what his budget looks like. Next, is all-wheel drive a must-have? Afterwards, what's more important to Ryan, comfort or performance and handling? After that, does he have a preference for certain brands? Within seconds, Miles comes back with some options for Ryan. Ryan can scroll to check out what those options are. He can cycle through each one to see the different trim levels available. And he can even check out some of the YouTube video reviews and the pros and cons for each vehicle. But let's say Ryan wants to know more between the differences of some of these vehicles. What if he wants to know the difference between a BMW X3, for example, and the Q5? Well, all he has to do is ask Miles. Miles immediately comes back with some of the differences and lets Ryan know that the BMW X3 is the sportier of the two. Leaning towards the X3, Ryan is almost ready to add it to his garage in order to start receiving some offers. But what if he is a bit of a car nerd and wants to compare all vehicle specs? Well, all he has to do is simply click on the compare vehicle specs and he can select which vehicles he wants to compare. And then Autodice will return all the specs regarding engine horsepower, dimensions, etc. for Ryan so that he can be confident in his decision. Finally comfortable that the X3 is the right vehicle for him, Ryan goes ahead and adds it to his garage so he can start receiving offers from sellers. All this without having to leave the Autodice platform. Now that Ryan's made a selection, let's pop over into his garage where we can see the BMW X3. But maybe there are a few filters that Ryan wants to adjust before he checks out his offers. So he goes ahead and clicks on the pencil and indicates that the highest price he's willing to pay is $60,000. He doesn't want anything older than a 2022. He could even adjust the trim levels, but he'll leave those open for now. And maximum mileage is going to be 100K. Once Ryan saved the parameters, they're all there, and he can see that he has 4 offers. So he heads over to check out his offers. And right away he can see all the offers ordered from lowest price all the way down. Now he could also filter this by mileage on the vehicle. Now you can see the best offers from 0 to 50K on the car. In his case though, he just wants to see everything. So he's going to leave that at all. So the 2 offers that catch his eye the most are the first and second one. And he can contact any of those sellers immediately through a chat or by email. But before he does that, let's pop over to Sally Bean, our seller, and let's check out what she sees. And then we'll head back over to Ryan. Here we are in Sally Bean's garage, our seller, and we can see the BMW X3 that she's listed for sale. Sally can see how many matches she has for the vehicle right here in the upper right-hand corner. In this case, she has 3. If she clicks on our matches, she can see all the buyers she's matched with and what position she's in versus all the other sellers for the same vehicle. In the case of Ryan, she's in position 2 out of 4, which means that there's one other person who has a better offer out to Ryan for an X3. And whomever that person is, they have the top spot in his offers. But here's where the value comes in for Sally. If she feels her car will sell to another buyer soon, she can sit tight and keep her price as is. Remember, she can see what position she's in for all the other buyers she's matched with, not just Ryan. If she really wants to move her vehicle, however, she can make a more aggressive offer to Ryan. In this case, since her X3 has been on the lot for over 30 days, she's going to do just that and make a more aggressive offer. So she clicks on the rebid button and enters a new price of $39,499. And after entering the new price, she sees that she's now in the top position out of all the other sellers. And this greatly increases the likelihood that Ryan will reach out. But Sally has a bit of a problem. As a dealer, she often gets a ton of messages and requests to see a vehicle during off hours, and her salespeople can't possibly respond to them all. She has a BDC and a call center, but they're expensive and they can't answer messages fast enough sometimes. And customer requests often fall through the cracks. Those buyers tend to go elsewhere for their cars, and that means lost revenue for Sally. Luckily, with Autodice, she can utilize Miles, her AI concierge, to answer questions and book appointments right to her calendar. So she heads over to her AI settings and activates Miles AI to answer customer questions for her and offer calendar meetings. With a simple click of a button, she can turn on Miles, who has instant access to all of her vehicle details of her listed cars and can even add specific details about her dealership, such as opening hours and location. She's also able to specify what hours Miles AI should respond to her customers. Now, it's important to note that Sally can take over from Miles AI in a conversation anytime and reply to buyers herself as they're chatting with her. One final thing Sally wants to set up, however, is her calendar integration and availability to get buyers in her showroom. So she heads over to availability, where she can connect either her Outlook or Gmail calendar and selects what times buyers can book appointments with her. Now she's all set to have all the buyers she's matched with have Miles AI answer all their questions and even guide them to book a test drive. Let's head back over to Ryan now, who will see Sally's new offer for her X3 and see what it looks like for him to interact with Sally, who's activated Miles AI to answer his questions while she's away. So back to Ryan, our buyer, we can now see that Sally's updated offer of $39,499 is at the top of his list. And he can view Sally's contact details right from the car card, or even schedule a meeting directly from his garage. But before he does that, he might have a few more questions. So he goes ahead and he clicks on Start Chat. Now, the first thing Ryan wants to know is, for example, if the car has any damages. So what's happening here is that Miles, the AI assistant, is reading the listing, and coming back and letting Ryan know. And he lets him know that there's a small scratch on the rear bumper and that there's nothing else that's mentioned. But that if Ryan wants to know more, he should book a meeting, right? Now, Ryan might have other questions. Maybe he wants to know how much horsepower the car has. And because Miles knows all about the particular vehicle in question, he can answer that. And finally, maybe Ryan wants to know, does it have a warranty? Once again, Miles will go and read the seller's comments in the listing and lets Ryan know that there is indeed a warranty until May 2026. Now, all of this is taking place without the seller having to put their hands on the keyboard. So they can be off doing whatever other things that they're doing, and they can literally have hundreds of customers messaging them about the vehicles for sale without having to answer themselves, making sure that those buyers get timely answers, ensuring that they're going to go ahead and book a meeting and not wander off and buy from somebody else. All right, so finally satisfied with the information, Ryan decides that he wants to book an appointment with Sally. So he can go here and go ahead and pick a date and then select the meeting time that Sally has put as available and go ahead and send the request. And then afterwards, Ryan, if he clicks on his schedule, he will see that he has a pending request out to Sally Bean Motors and that it's waiting for the seller to approve, and he gets a notification when it's approved. This way, buyer and seller have no miscommunication or ambiguity around what date and time they are meeting. So what just took place here is that Ryan was basically able to answer or ask any question he may have regarding the vehicle for sale. He was able to get in the moment timely answers from the seller using their AI assistant Miles, ensuring that both buyer and seller were able to book a meeting in order to see the vehicle and hopefully sell it sooner rather than later.